Hello, Mindful Seer people. We are here in the Eclipse series of readings for the collective. That started on the eclipse of the moon, the harvest moon, and now we're going all the way through until the eclipse, the partial eclipse of the sun on October 2nd. I decided to do this reading, collective readings for this, for everyone during this season because there's a lot of transformative energy available to us if we can stabilize ourselves, clear, stabilize, and sedate our energy. So let's just do that right now. Let's just take, a quick tune-in moment to calm, clear, stabilize, and sedate. Okay, so just by directing our attention in that way, we can shift what's going on with our biochemistry. We can remind all the cells of our body that we are in this now moment safe. And for those of you that are in the local area, most of us have been preparing for a hurricane, which is not uncommon this time of year, and many of us have done it many times. But there's always a certain kind of stirred up energy right before it comes. And I've noticed different behaviors with the animals because they are aware that something is going to happen. And I'm sure they're all seeking, more shelter than they might normally be seeking. They're very smart, and I'm sure they're finding ways to manage to get through this weather event. So interestingly enough, today we are on the soul card in the B.E.I.S.M system. This is a 5-frequency wellness system that I created. It comes out of my own personal lifelong pursuit of an aspiration to live a body, mind, and spirit-centered life. And this system is sort of an expansion of that. There's 5 areas of awareness to tune into. There's the physical level, including your body, your cash flow, and where you live. The emotional life or level, intellectual life, your spirit soul journey, and your relationship with higher power. I call that mastermind. So the system is easy. B.E.I.S.M. So you can remember and go back to those different areas whenever you need to tune it into yourself, either if you're doing that in a proactive, ongoing, daily practice kind of way, or if you start to feel off and you want to figure out, where things are in alignment for today and where they might need some attention or adjusting. And so we've gone through B, E, and I, body, emotions, intellect, for this cycle. And now we are on spirit, soul journey. Yesterday's video and the card that was revealed for intellect was vision and the eagle. So it'll be interesting to see how our soul card aligns with that information about what to do with our intellectual life. And, having vision, can be very spiritual, like people go on vision quests. Okay, but vision also has a very practical level where we are now, moving into action, conscious and clear action based on how we're inspired. So let's see how that comes to meet the soul card and find out. This is for you. This is a reading that I have intentionally asked the universe to give us clarity so that it's possible for you, both as an individual, yourself, and for your relationship with the collective, to be able to contact in with your soul journey. And I find having the idea that I am living this particular lifetime in probably, many prior lifetimes gives me perspective and makes it easier sometimes not to get hung up on the details of, whether things are going my way or not going my way, going how I'd like them to go, or I have to make adjustments, whether I'm being satisfied or disappointed. When I can look at, what's happening in this now moment in the relative scope of prior, lifetimes, then it's much easier to maintain a certain level of detachment and priestess type of energy where I can just be in a mode of skillful response, okay, rather than reactivity. All right, so now I'm going to put my hands in the baking bowl. So I do work with this. This is the baking bowl of belief. I have 3 decks in this bowl. I am a 4 clair psychic and medium. Oh, right. I'm Kristen Gieslin, the mindful seer. A mindful seer, mindful seer. We can all see mindfully. So what does that mean exactly? Mindfulness has sort of become a catchphrase, but for me, it has to do with tuning into what's for my highest and best, as well as what's for the highest and best of the collective. And that is surely not just something that's happening in what we might think of as mind. In some ways, I almost wish that the expression was heartful rather than mindful, because truly it's through the compassion, our connection to all that is, that all of this glorious information comes in through the clairs. So let's see what we're going to be guided to do about soul today. Okay, so we're getting one of the little cards. Oh, this is so beautiful. Okay, so we're getting this lovely little robin, and the message we're getting is coexist, accept diversity. We are all family. So what a beautiful card, okay, to, enter into that reality that, behind our personalities for this particular lifetime, it is the energy of the life force itself that animates us, and that piece of us, that part that is connected to the great mystery, we all share that. And so these outer wrappers that we're in, our avatar suits for this lifetime, in our countries and all of our little, ways that we divide ourselves up, at the end of the day, those are very short-term, time-limited realities. And the part that connects us to all that is and transcends time, space, is really where the action is in that soul journey. And sometimes this is challenging even to do, to coexist even under our own roofs. Sometimes there are pieces of who we are and who the people are that we're sharing life with that can be challenging and push our buttons and stir up our stuff. So it took me a long time in my life to choose connection, over being right. And a lot of times, being right in the moment, I've heard the expression many times, would you rather be right or be happy? And there's so many different ways of perceiving reality. There's so many different things that influence the way we do perceive reality, that ultimately, having positive connections with people can be more important, than standing on ceremony around my personal opinions about various things. And I have to pick and choose which things are the things I need to stand up for and which things really, at the end of the day, don't matter that much and are certainly not going to matter at the end of my life. And part of how I feel that I want to bring value and bring this B.E.I.S.M system to life is in that we all have these different elements. We all have bodies in a physical reality. We all have an emotional life. We all have an intellectual life. Most of us believe in a soul, or if we don't, we know there's something that animates us, our spirit, if you will. And then, a connection to all that is, and whether that, shows up in, some people relate, through nature with all that is. Some people follow extant wisdom traditions. Other people call themselves spiritual. It can show up a lot of different ways, but in the end, we all care about feeling connected to all that is. So we everybody on the planet has this in common. So if we could focus more on this and less on all of those other differences, I'm certain we could solve more of the challenges that are confronting all of us. And at times like this in Florida, particularly when we have a weather event, it's very unifying. Everybody here in Florida is having a shared experience at this time. And so we're all looking at how to prep and how to be safe and how to, how to make our time as comfortable as we can if we lose power. And we do look out for each other, and I know that after this hurricane, if there's stuff going on in my neighborhood, we'll pull together and help each other out. And, really, I value that so much. And hopefully you can bring some of that into your life today, a little bit more, just allowing other people to experience their lives the way they choose, and working on the places where we have to make common decisions. And there's plenty of places where we're sharing, we're sharing a lot of reality. And in those zones, if we can focus on what we have that's common, we can solve a lot more of our problems and increase the quality of life for all of us. So that is what's coming up with the Soul card. And this, by the way, this is the White Squirrel deck. This is from James Wanless. I call this the Just Do It deck because it just tells you what to do. And I feel when this card comes out of my baking bowl, it's when Spirit just wants to be sure that we don't misinterpret, okay, what the intention of the message is. These are very, very specific, clear, short, and sweet messages. And so I love these little white squirrel cards for that purpose. And honestly, they don't come out of my bowl as often as the larger cards. So I do like to really pay attention when these little white squirrel cards come out. Alrighty then, so peace and happy everyone. And just to remind you, I am available on a one-to-one basis virtually through the Eclipse, which I don't normally do, for mini sessions. That's a session like I would normally do at a public event, at a psychic fair or something like that. So it's a chance if you'd like to check out my reading style. I'm also a theta healer, and I do mindfulness coaching using the B.E.I.S.M system to help you, increase your awareness of what's going on with you inside of you and how you can maximize what you have influence over to improve your own quality of life and touch the lives of the people around you. Okay, so that's it for today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be checking out M for Mastermind to see what our higher powers are kind of liking us to pay attention to, and then we'll start the B.E.I.S.M all over again, culminating with the solar eclipse. Okay, peace and happy, everybody.